I hate to be the one to say it, but the universe does not look like this. Competent people are being laid off, while unqualified people are being given the jobs. They took everything from her. The business she helped build, the clients she spent years earning. At the table, she never once had to ask for, because everyone already knew she belonged there. And when they pushed her out, she didn't cry. She didn't call a lawyer. She didn't post anything online. She just left. And that quiet exit, that was the most dangerous thing she could have done. My name is Marcus, and this is the story of my cousin Emily Carter, and the day she walked back into that conference room and made every single person in it wish they'd treated her differently. We grew up in Phoenix, ordinary family, cookouts on Sundays, church on holidays, the kind of house where nobody talked about money, but everyone felt the weight of it. From the outside, the Carters looked solid, united, the kind of family people in the neighborhood respected. But behind closed doors, it was a different story. Emily's father, Robert Carter, had built a successful family business over 30 years. Distribution, supply chain. Nothing flashy, but it worked. And it worked well because Emily was right there beside him, every single day. She managed the accounts. She handled the difficult clients. She was the one people called when something went wrong, because she always knew how to fix it. Everyone in that company knew Emily wasn't just helping her father run the business. In a lot of ways, she was the business. Then Robert got sick, and everything changed. It started small, the way these things usually do. Her cousin Ryan, Robert's nephew on his wife's side, started showing up to more meetings. Then he started leading them. Then one day, Emily showed up and her chair wasn't at the head of the table anymore. Ryan's name was everywhere. Ryan's decisions. Ryan's vision. Ryan's future. Emily's name was still on the door, but she could feel herself being erased from the inside out. And when she tried to speak up in meetings, people would listen, politely, and then do whatever Ryan said anyway. She told me about it one evening over the phone. She wasn't crying. Her voice was flat, calm. She said, "Marcus, I don't think this is an accident." And I believed her, because people kept saying things like, "Business is a man's world," or "Ryan's just better at the aggressive side of things." Emily never argued. She just listened. And I remember thinking, how does someone watch years of loyalty get brushed off like it was nothing? How does a family do that to one of their own? Someone once said to me, people only realize your value after you're gone. Emily was about to prove that. One morning, Emily didn't show up to the office. No dramatic goodbye, no confrontation, no email to the whole company. She didn't insult a single person on her way out the door. She packed her things. She went home, and she poured every ounce of energy she had left into taking care of her father, who was still sick, still recovering, while quietly figuring out what came next. The family assumed the story was over. They figured Emily would eventually come back, tail between her legs, asking for her old job back. They figured wrong. Because the day Emily walked out of that office wasn't the end of her story. It was the first day of it. Emily moved to Austin. She rented a small apartment, set up a desk in the corner of her living room, and started a consulting firm. The first month, she had 2 clients. 2. She called me after she landed the second one. She sounded more alive than she had in years. The second month, 5 clients. Then 10. Then she started turning people away because she didn't have enough hours in the day. All those years of managing accounts, building relationships, solving problems nobody else wanted to touch, turns out The market loved exactly that. Emily knew how to run a business. She just needed a business that was actually hers. And her father? Robert's health started improving, slowly, but steadily. Emily made sure of it. She was at every doctor's appointment. She researched every treatment. She was the one holding his hand through the hard parts. Meanwhile, back in Phoenix, Ryan was drowning. Clients started leaving. Vendors stopped extending credit. Employees were jumping ship because nobody trusted the direction the company was heading. The reputation that Robert had spent 30 years building was crumbling in real time. And Ryan had no idea what to do. Hold on. Before I tell you what happened in that conference room, I need you to do something. If this story is hitting different right now, if you've ever been the Emily in a room full of Ryans, share this. Send it to someone who needs to hear it. And if you're new here, subscribe, because we tell stories like this every single week, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Okay, now, the conference room. Ryan had reached out to a business consultant, someone he found through a referral, to help turn things around. He set up a meeting, called in the whole family, made it feel official. When the conference room door opened, Emily walked in, holding her father's hand. Robert, who had been too sick to be in that building for over 2 years, walked in on his own 2 feet, steady, with his daughter beside him. The room went silent. I mean, completely silent. Like someone had hit pause on the whole thing. Emily looked around the table. She took her time. And then she smiled. Not the kind of smile that says, "I'm happy to be here." The quiet kind. The kind that says she'd been waiting a long time for this moment. She said, and I'm telling you, she said it so calmly, it almost hurt to listen to. She said, "Tell me something. Does anyone at this table remember having a daughter named Emily in this family?" Nobody answered. And in that silence, every single person in that room felt the weight of exactly what they'd done. Emily didn't explode. She didn't list every wrong they'd done to her. She didn't make anyone beg. She opened her laptop and walked them through a business partnership proposal. Clean, professional, detailed. She treated every person in that room with more respect than most of them deserved. And she did it so naturally, so effortlessly, that it felt like the past had never happened. Except that everyone in the room knew it had. And everyone in the room knew she was the one choosing to move past it. There was a line I heard once that I've never forgotten. The people who leave you behind often end up standing at your door when time changes. Here they were, standing at her door. And the choice, for the first time, was entirely hers. She laid it out plainly. They could let the company collapse on its own, or they could partner with Emily and become part of the business she had built from nothing, on her terms. In the end, Emily made one thing clear. The people who stayed would be the people who worked, contributed, and earned their place. Anyone who had been living off the company without adding real value, gone from leadership. No exceptions. And just like that, the family realized exactly what they'd thrown away. That day taught me something I've carried ever since. Not every act of revenge comes with raised voices and slammed doors. Not every victory requires an argument. Some people don't fight back. They don't explain themselves. They don't try to make you feel bad. They just wait. They build. Quietly. Steadily. Without asking anyone's permission. And when the time finally comes, their success says everything, louder than any words ever could. Emily never needed anyone to believe in her. She believed in herself, and that was enough. If you made it this far, share this story. Someone in your life needs to hear it today.